cost of living hurting people's ability to get prescriptions they need, says expert. I just posted a long preamble on Facebook prior to sharing that link, but I think this is serious enough to do a quick video. Let me read you what I posted. I was not immune to this problem. I have had many weeks over the past 3 years, and continue to have weeks like this, where I literally have to decide which bills to pay and which ones not to pay. Do I buy my prescription meds, or do I buy food? Do I pay the electricity bill or the rent? Meanwhile, I got credit card companies saying, why haven't you paid your minimum? It's a tough balancing act. All these organizations are aware that COVID has caused people financial hardship. And I think by being reasonable, I've carefully managed to take turns. Sometimes it'll be the bank. I'm going to have to say, look, I have to pay my rent. Likewise, I've had to go to my landlord and say, I've got other bills that just have to be paid. I can't have my electricity cut off. I have to have at least some food. So sometimes I ask if we can delay paying rent late. COVID. I was literally laid off. That's another thing. I was laid off at Christmas, as we all know, and spent another month unemployed, looking for work. 2-week waiting period. So I got like one EI check out of a month. Not enough to survive. So January just killed me. And unfortunately, I've had to dip into my pension, which I'm allowed to. Pensions are supposed to be for your retirement, but we need money now. Like I said, you have to have at least a minimum level of bills paid before they shut off your power. You gotta have a phone and internet these days. You gotta have some heat in the winter because it's freezing fucking cold here. Now it's like our summers are too hot. I don't have air conditioning, and I literally almost passed out from sunstroke and had to turn down, amazingly enough, my first request for overtime with my new job. And of course my immune system is shot, and I walked into the office in my newest job, and within a couple of weeks I'd caught the nagging flu or whatever the hell it was going around. I've had as many of the vaccines as they'll let us have. They won't let us take the second booster yet unless you're over 70 years old, so that's another problem. Other things that I've saved up throughout the years, tangible collectibles, sports memorabilia. I've been forced to sell stuff that I was planning to hang on till retirement, and a lot of that is now gone. I just don't see me surviving much longer unless the resources improve. This is the worst possible time to have inflation. The prices for everything, food, gas, well, I can't afford a car, but the taxis, I don't take taxis anymore because they put the rates up. Even though my knees are destroyed from all the athletics I've done earlier in life, I have to walk, or if I can find a bus. The bus system here is okay, but it's not great. And again, I've had to cut back on meds. And when you have allergies, you need to take your Benadryl, and you better not run out of Benadryl. I went a week eating nothing but bread and water because I had to spend my last money on Benadryl before the next I can't remember what it was, CERB or EI came in, and I literally thought that I was going to die that week. And yeah, free healthcare is bullshit. You got to buy these meds. And ironically, when you have a job, you buy into supplemental plans, so you do get some of your drugs covered. When I was unemployed, it was even tougher to afford to pay for these. Of course, I'm trans, so there's hormones and things like that that need to be bought. I also have high blood pressure, so I got to deal with that. I have anxiety and depression, so I have meds for that. And that was one of the meds I chose to taper. And it's shocking when you're only taking half your meds for depression. It's noticeable. And I feel like I've aged 15 to 20 years in the past 3 years. I haven't been able to afford proper clothing. I'm not eating healthy. And yeah, I'm about as upset and demoralized, and the outlook for the future looks terrible. My generation has taken longer to grow up than most. So for me, the 40s and now 50s are going to have to be the most important years of my life in terms of earning power. Probably be working into my 60s. I guess I got to get healthy. I have to deal with this debt. And the government isn't helping by not covering healthcare. I saw a friend of mine comment that our government here in Newfoundland is still not covering all transgender medical procedures, and that they had to spend several thousand. I mean, that's another thing. A lot of the debt I carry is because I had to pay for my own health care because it was not covered at the time. I can totally see why people are angry, frustrated, and often feel hopeless and helpless, to the point of, what's this life worth anyways? And we're seeing the desperation in the news. People are literally trying to survive, even if it means breaking laws. That's not something I'll ever do, but even though I've always kind of hated criminals, shall we say, I can appreciate why someone who's completely broke or has to spend all their money on other things, why would someone rob a bank? Why would someone steal groceries? We need to take better care as a society of those of us who are most vulnerable. And it's not happening. The government safety nets, the social safety nets that are supposed to be here in Canada are not here. Or the nets are too low, or they're broken. Yeah. Seriously frustrated. New job's going okay. It still doesn't pay me enough money to keep up with the bills. And when the week I was off sick there, I wasn't able to do my second job, which is literally pawning off whatever collectibles I've had over the years on eBay. I could barely get out of bed for most of that week, so that extra income from eBay wasn't even there. So it's going to be another week of taking only half of the pills that I should be taking. There's going to be a lot of bread and peanut butter and not a lot of good. When was the last time I could actually buy a nice full plate of vegetables? Protein, calcium, that's what goes. Protein and calcium are usually the most expensive, and especially with someone who's on hormone replacement therapy, you feel it in your bones. I literally feel as though my body is giving up on me and falling apart. Walking home from work on Friday, been the first time in a while since I literally had to pass out for a nap as soon as I got in. Collapsed right into my bed. And it dawned on me, what have I eaten this today? What have I eaten this week? How many vegetables have I had? How much protein have I had? It just really sucks. And I worry that the time may come where I'm unable to take care of myself. I'm also extra stressed out and exhausted from what has been a year-long quest to find the best job possible. As we know, I've had probably 20 to 25 job interviews in the past year, and 2 offers into roles that are a lot lower than where I've been in the past. Better than nothing, yeah. Foot in the door, it's all good. Love the people I work with now, by the way. But still, I'm going to be talking to bankruptcy people, and apparently that can really screw you over for 5, 6, 7, 8 years. How am I supposed to buy a house when I'm broke, owe money that I can't pay, and now I'm going to do this bankruptcy thing that'll basically take a small percentage of my salary away from me until it's all paid off anyway? I'm fucked. I'm never going to own a property, never going to own a house, probably never even going to be able to afford to own a car. And let's not even get into the concept of having wife and kids. I'm not even sure I'll be able to take on another animal, a pet. Dasher's vet bill is something I'm going to be paying off a month at a time, and it's going to take me a full year just to do that. It's just too much to keep up with. And I completely understand why people are literally cracking, either checking themselves into psychiatric hospitals or literally losing their shit, as they say. I don't think I'm quite there yet, but who knows? Mental illness such as depression can be scary, because if it gets bad enough, you can find yourself going into things like psychosis and schizophrenia, and then that's crazy when you can't even take care of yourself. And I don't know, maybe being 48, it's like I'm finally starting to feel old. Part of it's ironic. The last place I worked, I was one of the youngest in my office. Now where I'm currently working, I'm by far the oldest. But of course, everyone else that I work with, they have a credential that I don't have, which means they're all making double or triple the amount of money I am. And these people are among the fortunate. Age 25 to 45, and they're making 6-digit salaries. They're doing really good. Nice big homes, spouse, kids. And I mean, they all work hard for it. I don't begrudge them for that, but kind of adds to your depression. And it's like, maybe I'm never going to get there. Maybe I never will reach these potentials, goals. It's funny, my father's working on a autobiography. I don't think he wants to publish it. He talks about the dreams and the goals you have when you're young, and how you go through life the best you can. Sometimes you'll accomplish things, sometimes there'll be a lot you won't accomplish. And successively, each generation was getting better and doing better. But it's the Gen Xers, the baby boomers, their kids are not keeping up. Us Gen Xers and Gen Yers have not been able to afford the houses and the cars and the vacations, or to have the family, the children, big families with 8 kids. It's got to be a lot of money to take care of them. I try not to blame the baby boomers, but this, again, succession planning hasn't been there. The jobs that were supposed to be there for people in my age group never opened up. Because the boomers kept working till they were 70, and then they came back after they retired, collecting a full pension, still wanting to work, because they haven't trained the younger generation to take over. And I don't know, I feel like I've filmed this same video 1,000 times, so yeah, things aren't good, and I'm really concerned, because I really don't see things getting better anytime soon. And I'm at the point where I'm literally physically deteriorating and breaking down, and I really need to find a better job that pays me enough money, because you got to eat healthy. If you can't eat properly, sleep properly, exercise is another thing. I can't afford to buy proper shoes to go for a run. Get blisters on the used shoes I have. Haven't been to a dentist for 3 years. We got problems with my teeth. Haven't had my eyes checked for 3 years. There's a history of family glaucoma. My eyes are getting worse. With or without my glasses, I'm now getting dizzy and I'm having headaches. And again, you need money to deal with all these things. I just don't get it. I always thought things would be easier to achieve. How much of it is coming out as trans? I still think that's a problem these days. You saw my FINA video, I'm sure. Another one I want to talk about is how, again, Pride Week seems to be more about drag queens and drinking events, and not so much advocate for those who are still less fortunate and still don't have health care. And that's a problem too. So we'll leave it at that, and yeah, just as we come to the end of June here, it's like I knew after 2020 hit, I'm like, that sucked, but 2021 is going to be worse. People are like, no, it's not. I'm like, yes, it is. And I said 2022 is going to be equally as bad. And you know what? I was right. Oh well, one day at a time is all we can live. And in between breaks, if I can, refresh and revitalize. I just can't look at my resume anymore. I can't spend more time taking job interviews for organizations that aren't going to hire me because I'm trans. I'm trying to make a good impression in my new job. Make sure that at the very least they want to keep me there, and hopefully somehow convince them that I deserve a promotion. We can't do that when you're malnourished and exhausted all the time. Not to mention not taking your meds and having bad knees, bad ankles, bad back. I love the athletics I've done over the years, and I don't regret it, but I get why athletes retire and can't, and I can understand. I haven't had to go the painkiller route yet, and we've seen the horror stories of addiction with that, but I could be having to look at something like that, because I can barely walk without feeling pain every step I take. Heck, both of my shoulders are throbbing right now. From what? Carrying a bag of groceries home 2 days ago? Yeah. It's just, yeah, I don't know what to say anymore. Have a good night. Thanks for watching, everyone.